You did that. Yeah, you crossed the line about 1,000 times and I did that. Yeah, I stayed a while, tried to make it right. Cigarette. No, I never smoked, but my heart is broke, explosive. Stressing for that old thing back. That initial love, all the goosebumps, those flutters in my gut, turn into disgust. What a waste of love, babe. I just wanna go back to how it was, lay in each other's arms all day. Send me gifts just because. Tell me where we went wrong. Started out as homies, ended up as lovers. How'd it get so ugly? Can't we rediscover, baby, what it was? Or let's be honest, it was just a lover. You were so romantic, we were picture perfect. So much freaking passion, why we never got it back, babe? It was just a lover. Really wish you didn't push me away. I was willing to try long as it takes. I would never say we were a mistake, but fleeting romance doesn't a lifetime make. That initial love, all the goosebumps, those flutters in my gut, turn into disgust. What a waste of love, babe. I just wanna go back to how it was, baby. Lay in each other's arms all day. Say me it's just because it's Tuesday. Tell me where we went wrong. Started as fantasy, ended as enemies. How'd it get so ugly? Can't we rediscover, baby, what it was? Or let's be honest, it was just a lover. You were so romantic, we were picture perfect. So much freaking passion, why we never got it back, babe? If you miss me, just say that, babe. Lover, I don't deserve what you put me through, so you don't deserve one more chance. It's true, I still miss you, but I really miss that love bomb. Go back to love bomb. You hit me with that love bomb. Lay in each other's arms. Love me calling so strong. Send me so strong. It was just a love bomb. Love bomb. Under the lights, you look so amazing. It's the moonlight that makes me wonder why we separated. Or am I faded? You shine so bright, it's an understatement. Single is overrated. If you get too close, my baby, might let you take me back. Take me back, baby. Take me back, baby, baby, baby. Take me back, baby. Hindsight, take me back, baby. It's 2020. You've been so patient. Oh, I kept you waiting. Didn't want me back, baby. Then take me back, baby. It's in the night when I think I made it. When all day dedicated, 18 hours without breaking. Not thinking about us. Then in my mind, you're next to me laying. Those memories keep playing. Am I high or am I crazy? Might let you take me back. Take me back, baby. Back. Take me back, baby, baby, baby. Take me back, baby. Hindsight, take me back, baby. It's 2020. You've been so patient. Oh, I kept you waiting. Didn't want me back, baby. Then take me back, baby. hindsight, it's 2020. Feeling this way since top of the year. Lately we've been real unsure, unclear. Is it just me? Where do you go when you disappear? Tell me your secrets, you got my ear. Room to assume it's feeding my fears. Don't wanna leave, pull me in closer. Can we start over? Don't want nobody but you. No matter what we go through, keeping it between us two, me and you. Can we survive the distance? Don't know what we're missing, but there is a space between us. I know healing ain't instant, but can we survive the distance? Lifetimes are going like years away. More it will grow the more we delay. I'm just hoping it isn't too late. What can I do? Sorry if it's a little cliche. I know we're supposed to live in the gray. Leave it to chance or leave it to fate, but I'm missing you. Pull me in closer. Can we start over? Don't want nobody but you.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today it is Thursday and I'm in the office. I decided to do a day in my life. I like to space this out when I film them and just kind of give myself a break, because sometimes I feel like if I do a day in my life over and over and over again, especially like in a short space of time, I feel like I'm gonna lose what I want to talk about. So I always want to make sure that when I do a day in my life, I pick it with value. Speaking of picking it with value, so as you've seen, I've started working. It is around 9 now. I love when my day starts like this, whereby I'm able to come in the office early and then push my work, and by these times to know that I've pushed majority of my work, because it kind of allows me to do other things during the day, especially in the afternoons. And so right now I love the fact that I have done most of the things as per my to-do list. So I did my to-do list with you guys. I did my to-do list with you guys in the morning. So this is where it is. So according to this, but I'm not gonna tick anything off until the end of the day, because I just want to make sure that there isn't anything that I still need to do. Obviously, some of the work that I do, it doesn't end just because I say that, okay, I've done everything right now. Right now, yes, I'm up to date in terms of, updating the database, responding to emails. However, they're still going to be coming in. And so I'm not going to tick anything off, but I know that I have worked on the database. I've also responded on the emails. I also want to do research on printables. So Deboho suggested, yes, you Deboho. So Deboho suggested that maybe I create printables for you guys for monthly reset, and then you guys can just like maybe print them and use them along with me while I work towards creating a full, planner. So I just wanted to. So what were we talking about? Okay. So yeah, I'm going to be researching on creating printables, and I've already done some research, but I just want to do more research. Besides that, I wanted to talk briefly about sending applications in government. Now I've done a lot of videos about this. I've done videos that speak specifically to the things that I'm going to talk about, but I'm just going to mention it here again because I know that this community is growing, and so the people that are finding me now and they may not be aware of some of these videos, I'm going to link them down below. Any video that I've created that is relevant to what I'm going to talk about now, I'm going to link it down below so that you guys can go and watch those videos. But first thing first, let's talk about Let's talk about the Z83. So when you're sending out an application in government, there are two things that are needed: a Z83 as well as your CV. There's really no need to attach your qualifications now, unless if the position says you must attach the qualifications. And most times, if they say that you must attach the qualifications, they do not want you to certify them. So you can just make copies and attach them. But most of the time, just make sure that you read what the post says. Ne? Just make sure that you read, especially when you go to the DPSA, when you look at the department that you wanna, when you look, let's say that maybe Department of Labor, Department of Home Affairs, let's just say Home Affairs has vacancies. On the first part of the direction in terms of how do you send your application as well as what do you attach, make sure that you read that thoroughly before you go into the post itself. It's very important that you do that, because that's where they leave the information in terms of what you need to make sure that you do, or what boxes you need to tick in order to make sure that you are doing everything correctly as what they require in terms of sending your application. So I have a Z83 here. I'm gonna bring it closer. So when it comes to the Z83, the most important thing that you want to make sure that you fill is the top. So you need to make sure that you fill in what is the position that you're applying for, the reference the reference for the position that you're applying for. So it's first the post, the reference down here, as well as what is the department, and then the last thing is when are you ready to start. So you can say 2 weeks immediately, depending on whether you're working or not. Most times you would just say 2 weeks. If you are permanently employed in government, it can't be 2 weeks, it has to be a full month. And that doesn't mean that you will be disqualified just because you said you'll be available for 2 weeks. End of the day, they do need to give you space so that you notify your current employer of your work, of the fact that you are shifting employment. So this is not something that you telling them when you're available to start the position is not something that they would disqualify you for. That would be unethical. And then you fill in your personal information, all of the information that is required here. So you fill all of that information here. And one thing that you need to make sure every time you're filling out a Z83 is initialing each and every page. So the new Z83 requires that you initial each page. So as you can see right here, it says initials. So you need to make sure that you put your initials here and also on the second page, as well as signing and dating your thingy. So you will sign here as well as you will date your Z83. But if you do not, let's say for instance you got a Z83 from a friend, or you got a Z83 from somewhere, and it's the older one that doesn't have initials, please do know that your application will be disqualified. They're not even going to look at it. They're not even going to put it on the system as a person that applied. You will be automatically disqualified. So you want to make sure that your Z83 is the latest one that has initial at the bottom here, both pages, and you make sure that you initial them. So if you get this Z83 and you fill everything in and you forget to initial your pages, please do know that they're also going to disqualify you. So those are the most important thing when it comes to the Z83. The information here, the personal information, initialing each and every page, as well as signing your Z83 here at the bottom. And then when it comes to the information here, the communication information, you want to make sure that you fill that in. But then there's also the part when it comes to the formal qualification, work experience. My suggestion is that fill this out. Just like it's written out here, fill it out the way that you filled out your CV. But then the nice thing is they guide you here, that they say you start from the highest to the lowest. That's how you write your CV anyway. You start with the highest and the lowest. You start with the most recent to the oldest when it comes to your work experience. The qualification, you start with the highest to the lowest. So you fill out this thing. I know that sometimes people will say CV attached, or CV attached. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not that they would disqualify you for doing that, but just write it out. You're not going to lose anything. And then your references as well, you need to fill it out. Do not write CV attached. Write everything out. So that's about it when it comes to the Z83. I'm gonna put a link down below of the video that I was talking about when it comes to how you go about filling the Z83. But what I just told you now is everything that you need to know when it comes to filling out the Z83. Now let's get to CV writing. I've been editing a lot of CVs, and one thing that I just want to emphasize here is it's very important to understand why we are required to write a CV. What is the role of a CV? Because once you understand what is the role of a CV, then you understand how to go about writing it. For me, whenever I'm working on an application, I take a very long time on each and every application, because I take time to make sure that I understand what the post needs, and then I make sure that my CV speaks to the post. And that is because I understand why we write a CV. So a CV is not to detail your entire life history. It's not about your life history, but it's about how do you qualify for the position that you're applying for. You want to make sure that you want to make it easy for the recruiters or people that will be sitting and reviewing the application to see how you qualify. And so you write your CV in a way that it tells a story as to how you qualify for the position. So I recently worked on a guide, and this guide is a few pages, about 12 something pages or something like that, but I recently worked on a guide. Now this guide takes you from the beginning in terms of understanding what is a CV, what is the role of a CV, what are the things that you should make sure that you don't do when it comes to your CV, and then what are the things that you need to make sure that you include in your CV. So this guide is currently available on my website. I'm going to leave a link to my website down below. I'm also going to write it down here so that you see what it is, but it's basically my name and surname.com. And on this guide, as I said, it's going to detail you in terms of how you go about writing a CV. And then I also have templates for you that you can use when editing your own CV. Now, the reason why I created this guide is because I realized that as I was editing CVs, some CVs, they're not that complicated in terms of that they need extensive work. It's just that maybe some people are not aware how to go about doing it. And so what I did was I phased out that offer of 150. And now I have two-tier pricing. I feel like there's something on my eye. I have two-tier pricing, which is the essential one and the professional one. And then the basic one is now replaced by the guide. So if you're a person that you know that, okay, you just need minimal assistance, you can just go and just purchase that guide. It's selling for 150 on my website. And then you'll be able to understand what is the roles of a CV, how do you go about writing a CV. And so this is going to help you when you're editing your own CV. And then it has 4 CV templates that you can use when editing your CV. So you choose which one you want to use for your specific CV, and you can change them over time, but you get that guide comes with those templates. And so I would really encourage you that if you are not sure about your CV right now, and you're not sure also if you want my CV editing services, or maybe let's say for instance you can't afford the other options in terms of the essential and the professional one, get yourself the guide. It will help you to get started when it comes to just fixing up your CV and understanding what is the role of a CV. And also I would really encourage you that whenever you're sending out applications, do not send a standard CV. You have to take time to actually edit your CV as per the post. The reason why I want to do that, you want to make it easy for recruiters to see how you qualify for the position. If you do not do this, you just send out standard CVs. Every time you send out CVs, you're going to send a standard CV that does not speak to the post, and they're not going to see why is it that you qualify for the position. And so what I normally see when they're writing their CVs is they'll put everything that they've done in that position. So let's say that they're in the current position that they're in. They'll have maybe about 10 bullet points of the things that they're doing. They'll write everything that they're doing in that position. You do not want to do that. So for me right now, when I go through my CV, I have maybe about 6 points, 5 points, roughly 6-7 points in each position, and I make sure that the points that I have there, they're actually relevant to the position. They're actually things that I've done that I feel like make me an ideal candidate for the position. Now, I'm not going to fabricate things just because the position wants something, but what I do is I take time and reflect on the work experience that I have, and then I make sure that my CV reflects that, as I know that it will align to the position. And so you find that when you look at my work experience and the things that I've done, I don't list everything there. Like, there's so many things that I've done in each and every position, but I don't list those things there. For example, answering calls. I used to work in a section where I answered calls a lot, but most of the position that I apply for do not need that as a requirement in terms of or is not going to require me to do that in terms of duties. And so I do not have that in my CV, that I was responsible for answering calls or answering the telephone, because it's not relevant to the position that I'm applying for. Unless if the position specifies that they will need you to have telephonic etiquette, I'm going to put that in there as part of the duties, because I know that I have that and I've done that. But if a position doesn't need that, then why am I putting it? The point that I'm trying to make here is make sure that the CV speaks to the position. Do not list everything that you have done. Keep your points minimal to the things that you know that they are relevant to the post, because you want to make it easy for recruiters, that when they're looking at your CV, they really see how you qualify for that position. So the guide is going to take you guys through all of that, and I'm hoping that you guys make use of it and understand how to go about writing a CV. And obviously, when it comes to writing your own CV and editing your own CV, it takes practice. Over time, you get used to it. And so just make sure that you do that. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. So right now my website is live, and you can be able to go in there and book my services, as well as buy that guide if you do need the guide. That is all that I wanted to talk about when it comes to CV writing, as well as Z83. And I'm going to chat with you guys later on. And as I said, I'm going to leave the links down below to make sure that you utilize those services. And my website is also live for you to be able to purchase these things. So when you buy the guide, you will receive a link. To the guide, as well as the templates for you to use. And for services, you will receive communication from me in terms of how do we go about working. Let's say, for instance, you need me to work on your CV, you need me to help you with interview preparation, or you also need me to assist you with your financial things. You can be able to book all of those services on my website. So with that being said, I'm gonna get back to work, and I will talk to you guys later on, hopefully after work when I'm at home, and we can just close off this video. It's not gonna be a long video because it's just a work day in my life. And the most important thing was, I really just wanted to share these things with you, just talk briefly about these things, because I know that a lot of you guys are sending out your applications. Just want you to be wary whenever you are sending out an application. The most important thing that I can tell you is make sure that you fill your Z83 correctly. And then when you're writing your CV, make sure that you clean it up. Do not write everything you have done. And so clear out the fluff in your CV. I feel like people, because you don't know how to go about writing a CV, people end up putting a lot of things hoping that they impress, but they end up not doing that. They end up just, they end up counting against you. So just clear your CV, make it clear, concise, and clean, and eliminate all unnecessary information that is not supposed to be there. And make sure that when you are writing your CV, even yourself, if you were to look at it, you'll say, okay, I'll hire you because I see how you qualify for the position, not because your CV looks beautiful, not because your CV looks aesthetically pleasing, but because you can see that when it comes to the content and the work experience, as well as the qualification, you see that you do indeed qualify for this position. When you start sending out applications in that manner, where you take your time and you evaluate the position as well as align your CV to it, you will feel proud for the applications that you send out, such that even when you do not get calls, you do not beat yourself over because you know you did your best. For me, I send out applications, not a lot, because there's not a lot of applications that you find that you qualify for when you start going up in terms of levels. And so I don't really apply a lot. But when I see a position that I feel like I qualify for and I have what they need, and it's a position that I would love to work in, I take my time to work on that CV, and then I send out my application with pride, knowing that I properly worked on it. And if I do not get a call, I do not beat myself over that there is just silence, because I know that I did my best. Eventually my door will open. But if you do not take time with your applications and you just send out standard CVs, all your CVs, they're all the same every time, don't be shocked when you do not hear anything. Do not be shocked. But also have a sense of pride in terms of the things that you put out there. Make sure that you are proud of the CVs and the applications that you're putting out there. With that being said, I'm going to stop talking now because I've been blabbering on and on. Let me get back to work.
Someone tell me why.
adore. My mistake giving you love galore. Hope you find someone that can really adore you. Don't worry, I ain't keeping grudges, cause I'm doing better, life cannot be more golden. But honestly, I won't lie, sometimes I ask why I can't get you out my head. Now hard to forget that I
really need to cut you off. You're always trying to lead me on. You're making all these promises and you'd always quit. You're just another hypocrite. No, I'm can't 시간을 후회해. No, you thought that I would always stay, but you thought I'd be yours and 시간만 흘러. But someone tell me why. Bunch of guys lined up. How'd you lose a baddie like me? You're lost, boy. I'm actually doing just fine, even when you were not mine. But 가끔씩은 널 잊고 싶은데 그게 잘 안 돼. Nah, I really need to cut you off. You're always trying to lead me on. You're making all these promises and you'd always quit. You're just another hypocrite. No, I'm can't 시간을 후회해. No, you thought that I would always stay, but you thought someone tell me why. Get ready from you. I still think about you. Tell me everything I can manage you. Doesn't mean all the things you said. Someone tell me why. Get ready from you. Tell me why. Tell me why.
Like she own it, looking like the world is your runway. She can set it off like a gunplay. Oh my, yeah. Talk of the city with that body, always getting praised like it's Sunday. She said, baby, what you gonna do about it? Loving your vibe, girl. That energy got me going. Yeah, that thing's so vibrant. I wanna know if you can give me the keys to your heart, baby. All I need is you. All I need is you. Ewe muleji, you right next to me. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. Ewe muleji, mami venaki. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. She says she need me like heartbeat. Drive me the bed like a RV. Hugging the curves on that body. She bring the heat like wasabi. Promise not to test your heart. We just can't be kept apart. Yeah, yeah. Baby, you the best by far. Always go the extra mile. Yeah, yeah. All I need is you. All I need is you. Ewe muleji, you right next to me. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. Ewe muleji, mami venaki. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. Loving your vibe, girl. That energy got me going.
What's up, guys? So I am back at home now. As you can see, my face looks beat and tired and exhausted. So I'm back at home. It is after 4 now, and I was so happy when I got in the house today, because I realized that when I got in the house, I realized that I cleaned in the morning. I'm so happy. I was so happy to come to a clean house. Like, it is so welcoming to come to a clean house. Like, there's no disorder, there's just no random things anywhere. That's the best feeling. I cleaned in the morning, and it wasn't like a formal clean, it was more so like of a quick clean, and I'm happy that I did that. I'm happy for myself that I did that, because it's just good for yourself to come back to a house that is clean. You are the one that will appreciate it the most anyway. And yeah, so I wanted to close off this video officially. I wanted to show you guys, you know, being a parent of a child that goes to school, you will buy things even when you had not thought of buying them, but you have to buy them because there's an activity that has to happen in school, but it's a one-time activity, but then it's like it's themed. Baby, can you bring your plastic? So I'm gonna show you what we bought for my daughter. They are not wearing uniform tomorrow because it's their principal's birthday, and they ask us to buy themed clothes, safari clothes. You can go and so we had to go to the shops and buy things. So we got a hat, and luckily enough the hat is even written safari. So she got a hat. This one day maybe she will wear when she goes camping, if she'll ever do that. I feel like Tinabotaki, we don't do camping, because honestly, why would we sleep with bugs? Why? And then we also got this fanny pack. We got a fanny pack. Both these things, honestly, after she uses them tomorrow, she's not gonna use them again. And so I was very conscious when it comes to the price. So the hat, we got it for 70 rands, and I'm not showing you so that you guys can go buy it. Obviously, I'm just sharing with you guys that, you know what, when you have a child and they go to crash or they go to school, you'll find yourself having to spend even when you did not plan. That is why on my budget I try my best to budget for the 200 rands per month. That's a random 200 rands that I keep for under her envelope, and I keep it for things like this. I keep it for random things that come up at school. So they will say maybe they are wearing home clothes, so they must bring 10 rands. They're doing fundraising for this, bring this much, and so that 200 rands just helps with that. So we got this fanny pack right here and the hat, and I still have to figure out what she's gonna wear. Okay, baby, that's good. Did a good job. High five. Now let me finish filming, please.
Mama,
let me finish.
I think the big plate that is good that's inside.
Okay. Can I finish so that we can talk? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start with our nighttime routine, even though honestly, as I told you in that video where I was doing a nighttime routine, sometimes it's honestly a bare minimum. And today is just going to be one of those days where we bath, we chill on the sofa. And this is why I bought an iPad. Good girl. This is why I bought an iPad. I bought an iPad so that I can work anyway. I find that sometimes with the computer it's very tedious to work while you're laying on the couch. So I like iPad because I can literally be laying on the couch, have my knees up, and then the iPad is here and I'm just working. And so that's what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my evening. And so I wanted to close off. I see a spider. Damn. So with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Please take care and stay safe. Bye.
Girl,